And then we have the oxytocin. That's the trust hormone. Because storytelling is more than just suspense. When we connect with character, when we feel what they feel, our brains release oxytocin. And that's build empathy, you bonding, and you get more generosity. And that's why often people cheer for the underdog. Storytelling is how humans passed knowledge and shaped culture. Today, storytelling is still the most powerful tool to influence people. So the next time you're telling a story, remember, you're not just entertaining, shaping focus, building trust, sparking creativity, literally rewiring someone's brain. And that, my friend, is the 101% storytelling. Last night, I did only sleep for 2 hours. Why? Because I was actually sad and didn't think a lot. Welcome everyone. Then we are ready for a new episode again. I'm a little bit sore in my voice today, but I will do my best to deliver. Why is it that some stories stick with us forever, while others fade the moment we hear them? Science says the answer is hidden in our brain chemistry. And today we're going to explore the fascinating connection between storytelling and the very chemicals that shape our focus, trust, and even creativity. And just quick, before we diving into the content of this episode, I will tell you something. Last night, I did only sleep for 2 hours. Why? Because I was actually sad and did think a lot. So yesterday, it was 10th September. And it's a guy named Charlie Kirk. He's a right-wing political activist, author, speaker, podcaster, and a media personality. He's also a Trump supporter and is a very good Christian person. A wonderful soul who loved his family and wanted to make the world a better place. And yesterday, he was just finished in boxing training, came home, took a shower, and was eating. And then I hear a terrible news that Charlie Kirk has been shot. He was shot in his neck, and it came a lot of blood outside, and he did collapse in the floor. And then people in his team take him, protect him, and then they rush him inside a car, went to the hospital, and he was badly hurt. I was praying for him and hope that he will heal again. And 1 hour later, the sad news come. Charlie Kirk has been killed. It was very sad to hear that. He was in Utah Valley University and was speaking and debating. And then just someone shoot him and killed him. So sad. And I think about that. He has a wife and he has 2 children, a girl on 3 years and a son on 1 year. And he will never come back today. It's so sad to hear. And it's so sad to think about. So I did think a lot about him last night. And my thoughts and deepest condolences go to his wife and his children and all other close family members, friends, and the people who love him. And I also think about another story, Irina Sarutska. She is a refugee from Ukraine who had moved to USA for some years ago. And she did come to USA with her mother, sister, and brother. And she did work at a pizzeria. She did love America. She think it was a so good place. And she ended up in North Carolina. And one night, she's gonna take the night train. She just went inside, as a lot of other passengers did, and sat down. And behind her was a guy. And suddenly the guy stand up and start to stab her multiple times. And in goes. And she was so shocked, she hold her hands like this, and right after she just collapsed, go down in the floor, and was lying there. And then it comes a lot of blood from her. So this crazy man with the mental health issues, he stabbed her to death. What an evil person. That's evil. What an evil bastard. She lived in Ukraine before she flew to America. And when she lived over there, it was a lot of bombing around her. Every day when she gonna wake up, she didn't know if this was the last day or not. But she get away from Ukraine. She came to America. So it should be a much more safe country. She escaped the violence war in Ukraine. And she was so happy in America. And then she got killed by this man. He had many criminal charges against him, and he is still out in the society. So it was very sad, that story also. It happened the 22nd of August, but it just have come up again, and I see the video inside X, and it was so sad to see. So my thoughts and deepest condolences go to her mother, sister, and brother, and all of her close family and friends. I only slept 2 hours last night because I think a lot about this. So when I wake up today, I actually feel down and I feel sad. And then I start to prepare this episode. And then I went out, did a boxing session, started feeling better. And after that, I take a cold shower. So now I feel much better. So that's great. Just have to do something to get up your moods and try to get some endorphins inside your body. So now I have to show up and make a good episode with a lot of value for you. And I will keep spreading good things to the world. So then we can dive into today's episode about the psychology behind storytelling. And then we can start with dopamine, the suspense builder, and the attention magnet. And good storytelling, it creates focus and motivation and sharpen the listener's memory. It's suspense and cliffhangers keep people hooked because you tell story and you make them exciting. People become suspend and they always they wonder what's gonna happen next, and then you make them hooked, and then they pay more attention and they are excited what's gonna happen next, and then they get dopamine released in their brain and you're excited. And that's why often when people are looking, for example, TV series, you look at an episode and at the end of the episode, you have a cliffhanger. Something happened, but you still not get the answer or what's going to happen. And you get so excited, you get the dopamine, and then you would like to look next. And then you look and one more episode, exciting, and something happened at the end, but you do not know what happened. And then you look more. That's why you can look so many episodes of the TV series because you got hooked on great stories. And also sometimes, if you look at a very exciting movie, you sit at the edge of your chair because it's so exciting. And then we have the oxytocin. That's the trust hormone. Because storytelling is more than just suspense. When we connect with character, when we feel what they feel, our brains release oxytocin. And that's build empathy, you bonding, and you get more generosity. And that's why often people cheer for the underdog in movies, on real, in sports event, in fights, in footballs, everywhere. People cheer for the underdog because it builds empathy and you're bonding. And also when people share their personal journey, people get inspired of that also because of the oxytocin. And we feel what the character feel. Then we get deeper connection. And stories, it's not just fact, but it's feelings. Empathy makes us generous and more human. And then we have the endorphins. And that's the brain natural feel-good chemical. Humor makes people laugh. People relax and they become more creative. When you laugh, you feel good, your attention becomes sharper, and you become more engaged when the speaker, storyteller, is talking. And speaker making audience laugh, then they get stronger connection. And communication expert David J.P. Phillips call it angel's cocktail versus the devil's cocktail. Inside the angel's cocktail, you have a combine of dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. Your audience is alert, connected, and happy. Then, in the devil's cocktail, you have cortisol, and that is the stress hormone, and you have adrenaline. And those two together, they convert into stress, irritability, and poor memory. And do you know, in most meeting, what cocktail got most served? That's the devil's cocktail. People are anxious, critical, and distracted. And great storytellers, they are serving the angel's cocktail. So some takeaways. So how do you make sure you're serving the angel's cocktail? Through what David J.P. Phillips called functional storytelling. Everyone has a story worth telling. Write them down and build a story bank. And in December last year, me and Annika had done this podcast just for 2 months. And we rented my friend, Øystein Winstad, to hold a training course for us. And he did learn us about how to do interview podcast, how to do podcast without script, and last but not least, storytelling. And he did tell us that you have to make a story bank. And I just said, story bank? What's that? And he say, story bank, you make a document and you write down a lot of good stories you have. And you also have to hunt on the stories all the time. When you look movies, when you hear podcasts, when you're reading in the newspaper, when you talk with other people, you have to hunt for new stories all the time and write them down in your story bank. Because it's important to always have a lot of stories, because it's a very powerful skills, storytelling. And Øystein Winstad was actually the first guest on our podcast. It was a great episode. You should check it out. And then the third one, index them into categories: laughter, empathy, and suspense. And next time in a meeting, podcast, or presentation, choose the right story for the right effect on your audience. Storytelling goes from nice to powerful. 100,000 years ago, they did share knowledge through language. 27,000 years ago, they did share it from cave paintings. To 3,500 years ago, it was written text. And storytelling, that's storytelling. It's how humans passed knowledge and shaped culture. Today, storytelling is still the most powerful tool to influence people. So the next time you're telling a story, remember you're not just entertaining. You're shaping focus, building trust, and sparking creativity. Literally rewiring someone's brain. And that, my friend, is the 101% storytelling. And speaking of storytelling, have you ever wondered why some podcasters are just impossible to stop listening to? Why their voice pull you in, the stories land so perfectly, and you feel like you actually know them? That's what we're diving into in our next episode. What separates the best podcaster in the world from the rest? From how they speak to how they connect to why millions of people love them. If you want to level up your own communication or just understanding the craft behind great podcaster, you don't want to miss our next episode. This episode was recorded on September 11, 2025. You'll find everything you need in the show note, including the link to our website, the 101percentpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our free weekly newsletter, learn about our premium episode, and more. And if you like, you can support the show with a $2 coffee donation. Every bit helps us keep going, and it means the world to us. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone you care about. We're sharing for you. Become a good storyteller. Take care, give it your best, and keep pushing for the 101%. It is important for us to get out our message so we can help as many people as possible. And we would highly appreciate it if you could take 1 minute of your time to follow us on social media and review the show on Apple Podcast and Spotify. All links are below. Our Instagram is the 101% podcast. Until next time, take care and go 101% into achieving your goals. You owe it to yourself.